Hey everyone, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, whenever you're watching, whatever the heck you're doing. I am delighted that you're here. It is awesome to be with the amazing, the one and only Mr. Jim Kukral. What's up, Jim? How are you, buddy?
I'm doing great, Phil. Thanks for having me on. This is really cool. We're live to the.
Facebook Live, baby. Yeah, it's great. So, hey, the premise of this here today, we're going to talk about actually being unskippable. For those of you who don't have a clue what that is, don't worry. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about what it means to be unskippable. We're going to talk about unskippable winners and losers. We're going to talk about the yellow car effect, when the journey to becoming unskippable actually begins. And then I got to know, what the hell is it with the ticker picture in the back of the book? But I got lots of questions for you, Mr. Kukro. But first, I got to know, dude, are you nuts that you ran for political office? Why the hell would you do that?
Yeah. In the book, I tell the story. In 2015, I decided to run for political office. It was a mistake that almost ruined my marriage, my businesses, and ruined my good name in my community. Long story short, I ran because I wanted to change the world, my little community. Right? But the real reason, Phil, I'll tell you only, the real reason, not the altruistic one, was that I love the marketing of it, right? I thought,
right,
how cool was it going to be to win an election where people went into a ballot box and like circled a little thing, like, so that's why I did it. But I won. I beat the guy I ran against, two-term incumbent. I beat him handily, and that's when everything went off the rails. The next 2 years, probably two of the worst years of my life, being attacked by politicians and residents and getting caught up in such complete nonsense in today's polarized world, even at this small municipal town level. And out of that experience, I lost the next election by 35 votes, thank God. And out of that experience came this book and a whole new attitude on life and a new way of thinking about how people react and deal with other people. So I learned from it.
Thank God, right? So yeah, it's so funny, man. So two political things I'm going to say, not to get about politics, but my dad never he would run for school board and never would win because he knew like what happened to you would happen to him. So people would be like, you need to run. My dad would always say, nope, that is not what I'm going to do, right? I am not going to run for office. There is not a chance in heck that I'm going to run for office, right? And so yeah, he did not. So he never won on purpose. That's the first funny thing. Second thing is, I know how fun it is to run a campaign because I ran a campaign. My guy won, and then we didn't win again. And guess what? He's way happier for it too. So it's kind of funny, man, that we wonder why we get what we get in politics, and we get what we get because we treat people like we treat them once they win.
Yeah, it's just a crazy world. I mean, the whole part 2 of my book covers this whole polarized world that we're living in now. And the politics kind of back up that story. It's just, we've become completely tribal.
Yep.
It's, you're either on this side or you're on this side. There is no more in between. And I relate that experience to politics and also marketing. Yeah. So, talking about how belief-driven buyers and people want you to care and believe about certain things. So it's just so polarized now. And until you get that through your head and understand how people think nowadays, you're not going to have much success dealing with customers today because people think what they think and they want you to care about things.
Yeah. So Jim, I got to know though. I mean, does that make it more or less unskippable? Is that because the premise of your book, right, is unskippable? We'll talk about that in just a second. But I'm just curious about that question. Like, does being polarized make us more or less unskippable?
Well, yeah. I mean, in the book, I say, would you rather have 1% of the entire market, or half of, or 50% of, or I'm sorry, let me say that again. Would you rather have 1% of the entire market or 100% of half of it? Okay. So let's say you're a struggling business owner right now. You've got an accountant firm or you real estate agent or whatever. You're having trouble worrying about paying the bills. You're having trouble you're going to make next payroll, whatever it is. Well, guess what? There are people who have same core values as you who would love to do business with you, but you're just not communicating that. You know why? Because you've been taught since birth that you shouldn't talk about politics, religion, all of these things that people say you shouldn't talk about. But guess what? people who share those same values as you want to do business with like-minded people who share the same values. That's what a belief-driven buyer is. We no longer trust governments and politicians to change the world. We now are looking to brands. We're looking to brands to tell us, to share a common belief with. So 64% of consumers now consider themselves belief-driven buyers. Think about that. They want you to care about the same things they care about. And if you don't, right, they're not going to do business with you. And if you're on the opposite side of what they don't care about, that's a polarizing issue, they might go and start blowing up your coolers like they did to Yeti, right? And shooting them with high-powered rifles like they did to Yeti, right? So, but at the end of the day, the people who do share your values, they want to do business with you even at a bigger level.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's brilliant. That's an important point. So let's break this down. Let's back up just a step here. The book is called Your Journey to Becoming Unskippable. So Jim, what the heck does it mean to be unskippable?
Yeah, so I mean, think about today's world. We've become skippable, right? Everything in the world has become skippable. When you're watching a show on Netflix, what's the first thing that happens when the show ends? You get that little button in the bottom right corner, right, that says continue to the next episode in 5 seconds. Because who could possibly wait 5 seconds for the next show to load, right? When you're watching a show, a live event on television, if you still watch television, the first thing you do when a commercial comes on is you fast forward through the commercial with your DVR. If you can't fast forward through it, the first thing you do is this. You pick up your phone and you stare at it, right? And then sometimes you head to the bathroom, right? And maybe you're doing both of those same things at the same time, right? So the world has really become skippable. People are more distracted than ever, mostly because of this and social media. And we have to find ways to become unskippable, right? So the argument I make in the book is we don't have an attention problem. We've just gotten really, really good at deciding what we want to pay attention to, okay? Binge watching is a perfect example. If you find a show that you like on Hulu or Amazon Prime and you start watching it, you'll sit for 12 hours and watch 12 hours of it back to back to back and skip through quickly so you can watch it 3 seconds later, right? So it's not an attention problem. It's just how do we get through and make sure that people find the content and the products and services that they need, and while everyone's trying to skip everything all day long, because we're getting bombarded more and more every single day. And that's what the book's about. How do you find ways to become unskippable? Because, you know, like the guy who founded Geek Squad, he said, the advertising is the tax you pay for being unremarkable, right? So how do you find ways to be unskippable is really kind of the whole thing. And it's not just your business, but it's your life and your career.
Yeah, I think it's great. And I have to tell you, I was worried that you were just going to give me a bunch of unskippable brands and then never tell me how. And the wonderful thing about your book is you actually give me some insight into how I can do that. And I thought that's fantastic, and I appreciate that. So let's quickly give me one way that if I'm a small business owner that I can be unskippable.
So one of the examples I talk about in the book is, like, let's say you're an accounting firm, right? Like, I hear this all the time. You're a consultant. I'm a consultant too. I hear somebody says, well, Jim, I'm an accountant. There's nothing exciting and remarkable about my business. Okay, well, maybe there's not, but maybe you can start creating better experiences for your customers, right? Once you realize the fact that people just want joyful experiences in their life, like let's say you're an accounting firm, what's the pain involved? People hate doing their taxes, so they come to you. So why don't you make it easier for them? So why don't you go to their house and pick up their big box of receipts for them, right? That's one thing you could do that's different. And then when you're filling out their taxes, send them a little note that says, hey, congratulations. I think you're getting a refund. How freaking cool is that, right? Maybe send them some donuts or something. And they're thinking, wow, this is awesome. My accountant's communicating with me. Then when your taxes are done, hold an event at a local pancake shop in the morning and say, hey, today is XYZ Pancake Pick Up Your Taxes Day. Come on down. We'll give you your taxes. We'll buy you some pancakes, and we'll see you next year, right? So this is one way that you can create an unskippable business, even if you think you have a boring firm. But people just don't think in those terms. They're just like, oh, I'm just going to provide this service. Because here's what happens, Phil. Somebody goes on social media, and this happens a million times a day, and we all see it. And they say, hey, I need to get my taxes done. Who should you use? And the answers that come back are usually either A, zero, or B, yeah, I use ABC, they're fine. Or C, oh my God, you have to use Phil's tax service. You know why? Because Phil, they come to my house, they pick up my tax stuff for me. I don't even have to go there. It's great. And then like 3 weeks after I dropped my taxes off, I got this like a bag of donuts that they delivered to my house, and they said, congratulations, you're getting a return. And you won't even believe this. After that, they had me come pick up my taxes at the Pancake Breakfast over on 130th Street. And I had pancakes with them, and I got free pancakes. I love that place. So which one do you want to be, right? That's what somebody can do.
Yeah, those are great examples. I'd also say, remember that because we're picking the unskippableness, that means that some people are going to opt out of that. Some people don't like pancakes. Some people don't like that, they don't want you to be that personal with them. So that means we're going to let people self-select in that enjoy joyful experiences, because some people are curmudgeons, Jim. Just be honest, man.
Yeah, of course. But, I mean, in a general sense, though, I mean, when you really think about it, successful businesses that don't have to spend so much on advertising are the ones that go above and beyond. The ones, there's a million books on customer service. There's a million books on creating joyful experiences. But that's what people are looking for. And in the skippable world we're living in right now, you have to be unskippable. And that's one way to do it, because everything is based upon referrals now, right? I mean, you can continue to buy ads. You can continue to keep doing content marketing, which is all great stuff you could do. You could keep doing coupons and free shipping and all that stuff. But I got news for you. That's expectations now, right? Everyone expects free shipping. Everyone expects coupons. Everyone expects all those things, right? So it's no longer a differentiator that differentiates your business from everyone else.
Yeah, I think that's a really, really amazing point, man. So let's talk about this unskippable winners versus losers, because I got to tell you, I read this out of all your book, and I really enjoyed the book. The fact that you gave us the difference between winners and losers made me laugh out loud, because it's so true. So talk to me about what your definition of an unskippable winner versus an unskippable loser is.
Well, I don't have the chapter in front of me, but I'll try to remember what I wrote in there. I mean, it's basically like, we have this thing. Everyone tells us if you're only a winner if you are rich and have the nice car and all this stuff. And it's like, what's really the person who's winning, right? Somebody who, eats out every single night, or somebody who saved enough money to go to Italy to eat, right? I mean, we have to get this mindset out of our head that the expectations of the world and everything we're doing is what everybody told us we had to do. We don't have to go to school, get a job you hate, and live your life that way. You just don't, right? And you're not a loser because you don't have a Ferrari and you don't have a summer Malibu beach house, right? I'm just a regular guy. I'm not retiring anytime soon. I don't have millions of dollars in my bank account. I'm just like everybody else. And I'm so tired of all the fake stuff out there. I'm so tired of all the pretentiousness and, fake it till you make it. All these people pretending, taking pictures of themselves in private jets. I've got news for you. People are rejecting that across the board now. Consumers, they see right through it. A great example is one of the things I talk about in the book is Aldi, right? Why is Aldi supermarkets growing so big? Well, guess what? In the 80s, if you had a Izod shirt, remember the little Izod shirts?
Yeah.
People will be like, they don't know what that is. But like if you had that shirt on, that meant you were cool, right? Now, everything is flipped on its foot. Like now, like if you had a Rolex watch, people are like, wow, that guy's important. Aldi has proven that the times have changed. Now people are more into authenticity and value, right? They have zero problem being spotted at Aldi buying Wheatios instead of Cheerios because they're saving $3 on a box, right? It's not like it used to be. It used to be like, oh my God, did you see Jim? He's shopping over at the generic store. Oh my God, what a loser, right? So to that point, everyone's attitudes and mindset has changed now, and people don't feel like they have to be so pretentious anymore. As a matter of fact, some of the biggest brands in the world are making their logos less apparent. Gucci, right? I mean, think about that like iconic logo. They're like minimizing their logos on cars and purses and things like that because the opulence of a brand is no longer as important as it used to be. And that's bad news for big time brands that have built businesses and brands over hundreds of years, because now they're competing with people who can sell direct to you online, who don't have a brand, who just built a website overnight and have a great product at a better price
and a better experience. Let's be really clear, right? Because it's not just a better product, not just a better price, right? But you have to have that experience. I want to feel like I am important, right? You talked about authenticity, and I will tell you that's, to me anyway, what I got out of your book is you want to be authentically who you are to be unskippable. You got to be exactly who you are. Because if you're not, right, people are going to smell that out. They're going to be like, no, hold on. They might pause for a second, but then they're going to see that you're bullshit. And they're going to skip right past you. Not just skip past you. They're going to tell all their friends that you're useless, that you're fake. Is that fair assessment, or did I get that wrong?
No, that's absolutely true. That's why you've been successful, because you are your authentic brand. My friend Matthew Lesko, remember
love that guy. Love his suits.
Wrote about Matthew in my book 9 years ago, my first book, right? And Matthew, when I met him and interviewed him, and I'm like, is this an act? And he's like, no. He goes, I wear these suits every day. I have 20 suits. I go to the airport. I go to the supermarket in them. I go everywhere in these suits. I wear them in my house. He goes, this is authentic, you know? So in today's world, you really have to be that. People are just not into it any longer. They want people that are real. And the basic marketing tactics still work to an extent. But if you're building a brand in today's world, you're really going to want to tell a story and have some authenticity.
Yeah. Storytelling plus authenticity equals win. That's for sure. And, and the thing about that is once we kind of tell that story and we're aware of it, you talk about the yellow car effect, which I love, the reticular activation system. I've been talking about this for years, which is funny because I'm that kind of nerd. I actually like RAS even better than yellow car. But talk to me about the yellow car effect, Jim, and how that helps make us unskippable.
Yeah, so there's this thing, a lot of people haven't heard of it. It's called the yellow car phenomena. And basically, the concept is this. If you start looking for yellow cars in your brain, you'll see them more often, okay? So, and it's all based on the reticular activating system, which is the part of our brain that takes information, processes it, in a tiny millisecond, and decides whether or not we want to keep it, skip it, or move forward with it, right? It's the same reason if you were in a very crowded room with 300 people and your spouse is on the other end of the room and it's loud and your spouse yells your name. The reason you hear that is, one, because it's your name. Number two, the voice is coming from an already unskippable sound that you're used to hearing, right? So just think about the concept. Your brain decides what to skip and what not to skip. So when I talk about in terms of the book is like, how do you change your mindset? If you are constantly looking for negative stuff going on in the world, that's what you're going to see. If you're constantly surrounding yourself with unsuccessful people who are negative and aren't helping make the world a better place, that's what you're going to end up processing. So that's what the yellow car phenomenon is about. And the book has a lot of business case studies in it, but it has a lot of mindset stuff in there too, because it's all part of the same thing.
Totally agree, man. Totally agree. I think that's so important, right? Business owners, salespeople, they all get the mindset thing wrong. They think that, it's okay, it doesn't matter. But that's why, right, the two things that matter are the people we spend time with and the stuff we put in our head, right? Those are the two things that are so important, which is why I would tell folks, get a copy of this book, because it helps your mindset and you'll surround yourself with better people. Because Jim actually offers his cell phone in the book, which is pretty crazy. I think that's pretty impressive, dude.
I do. And in the first part of the book, I say, here's my cell phone number, text me and let me know you're reading the book. So all day long, I get texts from people and they're like, hey, I'm on page 32 and I thought I'd text you. And the funny part about that is they're blown away because they actually think it's going to be a bot or something, but it's not. It's me. I'm at the grocery store. I'm like, oh, I got a text from somebody who's reading the book. I'm like, thanks for reading. where do you live? I'm having conversations with people. They're blown away by that. I love doing stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's so cool, man. Because I mean, really, yeah, we kind of came in contact about 10 years ago, but this is like, we had one other conversation, but this is the most extended time we've had. So it's really fun to really think about how you've now done that and scaled that out. So what do you think? You got 500,000 texts? What do you think?
Oh, no. I'm not getting anything like that. I mean, no. I'm not selling that many books. Everyone go buy my book and you can text me, but no, I'm not Seth Godin here.
Oh, so hold on, but I think that's instructive, right? So I can tell you, people freak out the fact that my cell number is all over the internet, right? I've got an article, Jim, that's been read probably 3 or 4 million times. That's about leaving a great voicemail that had my phone number in it. I got 20 phone calls from it, right? So my point, and I knew it wasn't going to be that high of a number, by the way. That was a setup because I know people don't call. They don't believe. They don't really think that anybody's on the other end. But if you get Jim's book, right, if you get Journey to Becoming Unskippable, it's a great book, but you also get to talk to Jim, which to me, that's totally bonus, man. So that's great. That's a worth $15 all day.
There you go. Thank you very much.
Totally, man. So cool. So last question here before we wrap up is, what is with the Tigger picture, dude? Is Tigger your favorite animal or what?
Yeah, I was at Disney with my family, and there's a picture of the ant. It's not really Tigger, Phil. It's a
Oh, dude, come on. Are you going to tell me Santa Claus and the Tooth Fairy aren't real either?
Person in a Tigger outfit standing above me, Phil. I'm
so close.
It's probably a 28-year-old unemployed actor out of Disney sweating in the Tigger suit, and he's sitting over my head, and we're having dinner. And I just thought it was a great picture. Look, I got pictures of me in the suits and doing the whole thing and stuff like that. It's not me. We've really gotten to this point. Does anyone really need to see a person in another big suit and tie with a 3-piece suit anymore? It's like, I'm just a regular guy, just like you are, Phil. And I love that picture.
Yeah, no, I do too. And just to be clear, right, I'm a Tigger, right? Because Tiggers are made for bouncing. They're bouncy, bouncy, bouncy. So that's me, right? And orange is my favorite color. So that's fantastic, man. So I love that picture. That totally made me smile. So, yeah, totally. So, all right. So as we wrap up here, so Jim, if people want to get more connected to you, obviously buy the book, buy Journey to Becoming Unskippable. You can text him, but some of you are going to be shy. Some of you are not going to text him. So Jim, if you were to say, where's one place people can go to have a conversation with you besides text message, where would it be?
Just go to beunskippable.com. You can find out all about me. There's my information's all on the page. Contact me. Everything's there. beunskippable.com.
Wow. Super easy. So folks, if you're thinking, boy, I need to be more unskippable. I need to grow my business. I want to be more authentic. I want to be more aligned with who I am. Get a copy of the book. Get a copy of The Journey to Becoming Unskippable. Jim Kukral, beunskippable.com. Great guy, former politician, and one of the best guys I know. Thanks so much, Jim, for spending some time with us today, buddy. You're awesome.